Hi guys, welcome to my video. First things first, I am building up my invisible eyebrows. I have very little eyebrow to work with, so I like to start here because I know it's going to take a bit of time. I like using a brow gel pomade in the shade brunette to build it up, using a little bit of product at a time, working very lightly with very light brush strokes with an angled brush. I like to build up the outer and inner corners the most. That's where I spend most of my time focusing on the shape and making sure it looks nice and crisp there. And then afterwards, I always, of course, like everyone else says, brush it out. Now I'm going to take the NYX Conceal Correct Contour Palette. It's in medium. I'm using that yellow shade at the bottom, and I like to take that to the top of my brows to give it a little bit more of a crisp line. And it also ensures that later on when I'm putting on my foundation, I don't have to get too close to my eyebrows and risk messing them up. And I just like the way it looks all around. Now I am taking an eyeshadow base in a rosy shade, and I am applying that first onto my eyes. I choose a rosy shade because the colors that I'm using today are very springy. They're purple and pinks and oranges, and I felt like this would really bring out those shades a lot more. So that's what I'm starting. And then of course I'm going to set my base with again, light rosy pink. Alright, so now I'm going to take this domed shaped eyeshadow brush with a pinky purpley shade. I'm going to work that into the crease almost as like a transition color. I don't have a great crease line, so I like to go above the crease to give me a little bit more room on my lid, a little bit more definition. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just sort of going back and forth and buffing it in, really making sure that's exactly where I want it, and keep looking at myself straight on in the mirror. Now I'm taking this little buffer blending brush and I'm putting on a dark blue eyeshadow with it, putting it into the outer V. Again, taking my time. I don't know if you can tell, but what I am doing is I am bringing it more in. It's like a V. Literally, I'm working it in like a V. Closer to my lid, I'm bringing it further in. And in my crease, I'm bringing it further in. But in the middle there, right in the middle, if you can see, I am leaving it further out, and this just gives it a little bit more. Again, I don't want to take away from my lid room, so I'm kind of trying to leave it open and leave that space open for a lighter, brighter color so that my lids look nice and pretty.
Very disappointing, birds.
Now I am taking this blending brush with a fuchsia pink shade and I am buffing it out in the lid and above the crease, really trying to blow it out, smoke out the color, and give it that extra drama. And as they say all over, blend, blend, blend. And when you think you're done blending, blend some more. Now I'm going in with NYX eyeshadow in the color Pure Skin. It has a really nice yellow goldy shade to it, and I'm putting this into the inner part of my lid to really open up my eye and give it a little bit more of a light look. Not so dark, because I don't want this look to be too overpowering. I do want it to be dark and dramatic, but I also want to look awake. My eye is nice and open, so I am using a nice pretty shimmery goldy shade. I'm going into the other eye and doing exactly what I did on the first eye, on the second eye. Blending out, working it, working it, working it. Here I accidentally placed a little bit more color than I wanted, but that's okay. I just hit my brush a couple of times and shake off the extra eyeshadow, and now I am blending it out. But I decided that I liked how it looked, so I blended out a little bit here, and then I end up going over on the other side and adding a little bit more because that extra bit of drama, it just really added something. So again, I'm just like blending it all out, making sure that everything looks exactly how I want, moving my head all different angles. You don't have to sit still while putting on makeup, move around all you need. Now I'm going back to the other side to kind of make sure that this side matches the first side. Here I am taking a yellow eyeshadow. I really wanted to soften the edges and really give almost an ethereal look to this, almost looking like it has a halo around it. So I took this yellow shade and I went around all the other colors on the edges and blended it in. And I really love love the effect that it gave. I'm going back in with this NYX one more time just to replace some of the color that I lost in all the blending, because I don't want it to be lost. I don't want the inner corner to look sad and dull while the rest shimmers and shines and looks just so dramatic. Taking the angled brush I used for my eyebrows, and I am putting on a purple shade, just a deep purple shade, just on my upper lash line very closely, not enough to really notice, but give a little bit of a definition. And then I am taking that same brush with the same eyeshadow, and I am giving myself a little bit of a wing, but with eyeshadow. Same eyeshadow that I just used on my upper lash line, I'm using to create a wing, and then I'm going to use the brush to sort of pull it up into my V there to really blend the colors together. Again, I really want that gradient effect. I want to have the definition and the clean lines. That's why I'm creating the wing, but I don't necessarily want the wing to be the focus of the look, so I am blending it in. And something weird just happened with a cat that I had to check out. Now moving on to my mascara. Personally, I cannot use false lashes very much. My eyes just don't take too well to the glue, so I am just use mascara, and I really build it up. I like using a lengthening, curling mascara because I have very short lashes that are stick straight and very hard to see. So when I use a lengthening and curling mascara, it makes it look like I actually have lashes. And here I am taking a white eyeshadow just to sort of lay down a highlight. I will be using something else later, but I wanted to put that down as sort of like a base to get it. Alright, so now I'm going to spray my face with a setting spray before I put on any foundation, because it has been hot and I want my makeup to stay on. So I'm going to spray this on, really douse my face. I'm going to let it set for a second, not too long, just for a second, before I put on my primer and my foundation. Alright, now it's time for the smoothing primer. So I'm putting that on. I'm really patting it, not rubbing it, because I want to set it and not make it rub away. Then I'm going to take a mattifying foundation, and I am going to put this in the center of my face where I get really oily throughout the day. Especially now that it's hot, I like to put a mattifying foundation on the inside of my face so that it stays on, doesn't move around too much, and even though it breaks through just a little bit, it still doesn't break through nearly as much, and it just makes my makeup last a lot longer. And then I take a long-wearing luminous foundation, and I put that on the outside of my face. And this foundation has a little bit more of a pink tone to it, but because this is where I set my bronzer later on, it doesn't bother me so much, and you can't really tell. So for now, it works. So I'm just going to put this on the outer part of my face where I'm a little bit more dry, and again, where I'm going to be putting bronzer. So alright, so now I am going to work to cover these blemishes by patting a little bit extra foundation on them and then blending everything together so that there's no crazy lines between the two foundations. Now I'm putting on my concealer. I personally prefer a more natural look with a little bit of a highlight, so I don't do anything too drastic. This shade pretty much matches my skin tone right now. And I set this under my eyes and on any blemishes I may have, a little tiny bit under my nose, and a few spots on my forehead for a little bit of a highlight up there, and to make my face look like it's skin and not foundation. Alright, so I'm taking my NYX Stay Matte Not Flat powder, and I am setting my face, focusing on, again, the part of my face that gets nice and oily throughout the day, and then taking what's left and moving it around the rest of my face. Now I am going to take a highlighting shade for under my eyes, and I'm going to powder under my eyes. I use a yellow shade. But I also mix it with a little bit of almost like a white shade, a cream white shade, so it's not too yellow because I'm not that tan right now. And I am setting it under my eyes. Now I am taking that same blue shade from earlier and I am putting it under the outer part of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the pinky shade that I used before and I'm going to smoke it out using my brush. Now what I'm showing you here is that the brush is angled and I am dipping the tip of the angle of the brush. That way it buffs it out without adding too much color and bringing it too far down. Now I am taking this brush and it's kind of like a flat rectangular shape and I'm using it to put down my bronzer on the apples of my cheeks, under my cheekbones I should say. Putting it under my cheekbones and on my forehead along my hairline, under my chin, on my neck, to blend everything together. Now I'm taking this duo fiber brush and I'm taking a more gray toned bronzing color and I'm using that as my contour and I'm very slightly putting that for the definition. Here's my favorite part, highlight. I am taking a highlight with this little brush here, this flat top brush, and I am putting it, I like this kind of brush for highlight because it lets me place it exactly where I want it. It doesn't make it too dramatic, but it also doesn't take away the highlight. And I am placing it on the tops of my cheekbones, on my forehead like you just saw, and really bringing it down to the bronzer a little bit, blending them together, making it look more like natural luminescent look. And again, above my eyebrows because who doesn't want to highlight up there, give it a little bit more definition, and draw more attention to those brows you work oh so hard on. Now I'm taking this beautiful shimmery silver color and I'm putting on the inner corner of my eyes and under my eyebrows to again add the ethereal look that I was going for. Now I am taking NYX lip liner in plush red and I am putting this on the outer part of my lips. I like to do two different colors, a darker one on the outer part and a lighter one on the inner, and I feel like it gives my lips a little bit more of that fuller look that everyone is going for without having to overline or overdraw my lips. And here comes beautiful rose from NYX as well, and I'm putting this on the inner part of my lips, and I am really using this color to blend the red and the pink together to give it that depth that I was looking for, and it just looks so pretty already. I mean, really, you can't go wrong with two different colors. Now I'm taking a corally orangey pinky shade and I'm putting this all over. It is a little bit more dramatic than I was looking for, but no worries, I am ready. I came ready with another shade that is a little bit lighter in coverage. It has a sort of bronzy, shimmery shade, and I put that over and I blended them together. It really softens it up and it really brings it all together for the look that I was looking for oh so much. And once all is said and done, you know what time it is? I think I know what time it is. Time for a selfie. Alright, so that completes this look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.